Hey guys, Jonathan here, and last year I got to go to LEGO's headquarters where I was able to interview the designer of the new Bumblebee LEGO set. So let's take a look at the interview and jump right in. Man, LEGO Transformers is continuing on. This is truly amazing. Would you mind introducing yourself for everybody?
Yeah,
And we'll jump right into Bumblebee here.
yeah. So my name is Samuel Liltop Johnson, and I'm a design manager here at Lego. I used to be design manager for Lego Ideas for a long time, and I've moved off from that to start some other projects, which you'll see later. But yeah, so in between that, I've been designing a couple of sets, and this is the latest one of those.
It's incredible. I mean, Optimus Prime to me, I've said this outside the room of you. I like this better than the actual Transformer. It transforms easier, and I literally don't know how that's even possible, but it is somehow. So obviously, I have not transformed Bumblebee yet, and I'm not brave enough to do it to the prototype.
Sure.
But can you talk about the process of actually figuring out how you're going to make this transform? Because
Yeah,
you actually have to build the set three ways, in my opinion. It has to look good in car form, it has to look good here, and it has to have the play function to go back and forth. So,
yes, yeah.
I mean, it's
Exactly.
expert level design. So, walk us through that.
So what you see, what's in front of you there is actually the prototypes I've been working with. Two of the prototypes. I built this set maybe 50 times in the past year or so. My colleague Sven, he built the car that's there, and it turns into a pretty horrible robot. And I made the robot that I wanted. This is the kind of robot that I want it to look like. And then my job was to try and find how to get from one to the other. And so I did really a lot of drawings of cutting up a car and seeing how it could work, and also using the original toy and cartoon as reference. Um, just because those are the kind of iconic Bumblebee shapes as well. So the original toy has the feet are the hood of the car. So I wanted it to be the same as that because it's the same in the cartoon as well. And yeah, just try and make all the colors correct and everything. So it's been a real challenge, and that's during all that process. That's how I created this new element, which one of my colleagues brought to life for me. I did this drawing of like the ATAT joint that holds the legs on the old walkers, but double sided, and it's like everyone was asking, why do you need this, right? Like, why do you want this weird element? And I just was showing them, like, you can take one hinge and it can go all the way, fold really far, so it can travel really far.
Yeah.
And then we were working at how long should it be, and what works best for the final product, right? And yeah, so that's where we what we did to kind of make it become from one thing to the other. Yeah, so you get actually two of these in the set. They go back to back and kind of form his spine, if you like. Yeah, and then we also, just because the car is kind of this bubbly look to it, I really wanted it to be as roundish as possible. So we made this new wheel arch piece. It's a bow, right? So it could be used in many places, but we've made it as the wheel arch. You get 8 of these in the set in yellow.
Now, if there's one thing that Transformers and superheroes have in common, it's that they have a lot of different looks for each character.
Yeah, yes.
Was there ever a concept or decision you were thinking like, oh, maybe this version of Bumblebee or that one?
Sure.
Or was it just so obvious to start at the beginning?
Yeah, so I have Optimus Prime as my starting point, right? And he's really anchored in the original cartoon.
Yeah.
And the color scheme, the stripes, and everything just matches the cartoon. And so that's where we also got our reference. So we got character sheets and everything from Hasbro. So we got the colors correct and just as much as possible to look like the one in the cartoon. There's some factors that come into play where the wheels disappear in the cartoon because it's an animated show, right?
Yeah.
So they can maybe cheat a little bit. So we've tweaked it a little bit from the cartoon, but it is anchored there. That's where it's really anchored in this cartoon, and every version of, like you say, every version of Bumblebee since then is slightly different from the next one. So this is really the Lego group Bumblebee. Yeah.
Well, that's a great point about Hasbro, because this is really one of the first times in Lego history that you've collaborated with another toy maker.
Sure.
You could count on one hand, basically.
Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit about that process? I'm sure there are things you can't share for legal reasons, but
Sure.
it's really unique to see a collaboration in that way, that a toy IP is lending their most precious, valuable to another toy maker. So just walk us through that and what that process is like.
Yeah, so I was actually super nervous about it because this is a toy that I've grown up with, and I was just like, wow, I mean, these like the real life people that own this IP, and just having meetings with those people, and they're as passionate about their IP and our product as much as we are the other way. So it was just super nice to work with them and get to know them as well, and just work with their reference material as well, because they have a lot of character sheets. They have slides from the show as well. So we've been backwards and forwards about things as simple as like what are the numbers that go on his sheet here, like on the plaque, like how much firepower does Bumblebee have? He has 1. We actually had to change that because we got it wrong. So,
oh, really?
So that was one of those things, like we really wanted to get everything correct. So, and on both sides, so we worked really well together. I'm really happy about it, and it's just been, I guess was super intimidated to begin with, but then you realize, wait, these are just toy designers too.
Yeah.
And we all there for the love of toys. So it was really great.
That's amazing. Were you a big Transformers kid growing up?
Yeah. I was born in '87, so it's kind of after Transformers. So I got I had tons of them because we used to get them secondhand. And so I had all my favorite characters from the show. Like I had Optimus and Bumblebee and Megatron and Soundwave and Ultra Magnus. I love all these like heavy hitters from the cartoon, and so I never had I had Bumblebee, of course, but I never had like Optimus Prime's weapons. They all had parts missing, but I just loved them, and I used to sit and watch the show whilst playing with them. So it's like the soundtrack to playing, and so I did the same when I was designing this. Like just I bought the DVDs again, and just sat and just had that as the soundtrack to design this set.
A lot of times these crossover IPs, be it a movie, a video game, TV show, or in this case, another toy, this is a lot of people's first foray into Lego, because they're like, I don't really get on with this, or this isn't quite my speed. But then they're like a diehard Transformers fan, and they see Optimus Prime come out, and they're like, oh, I have to get this.
Yeah.
Taking a step back before I ask the question, from a design standpoint, this truly blows my mind, because again, you're really designing it 3 different ways with 3 things in mind. How does that factor in to you as a designer to know that this could be somebody's first Lego set?
Yeah.
And knowing it has to be complex enough to show both ways and transition easily.
Yeah.
But also, it can't be so intimidating that somebody gets to the 30th page of the instructions and tosses it.
Yeah. So that is always on my mind, thinking about who might be the person who builds this, because I'm a Lego expert, right? So everything is just like maybe too intuitive for me, but then when someone else who's maybe never touched these bricks, having that huge pool of yellow squares and arches, just being like, what is this?
There is an excellent point compared to Optimus. You do get kind of 3 color schemes with Optimus, and it's basically black and yellow all the way on Bumblebee.
Yeah. So with this guy, I wanted it to be like, you build it in a stable way, and what if you can't tell what you're building? So actually, when you build Optimus Prime, you build Prime and then you transform him into a truck. With this one, you actually build the car in disguise, and then you transform him into a robot, and that just helped me. It's not just making like an action figure that then becomes a thing. Actually, he's in disguise before you even finish it. That's the kind of the thing I wanted, and it's not until like it has 10 bags, and it's not until you get to something like bag 9 that you actually build the head. So you actually can't see really any of the details come into play until.
So now I'm thinking, if the line were to continue, you'd start halfway through a car and then start switching. It's the only option that's left.
Yeah, so half transform the next one or something. Yeah,
that's incredible. Are there any other IPs maybe stepping away from this that like are nostalgic 80s toys that you think would translate well into Lego? Not necessarily asking what's in the pipeline, but something that could be fun from another toy that.
Yeah. I mean, there's loads.
Yeah. I realized as I was asking that, I'm like, oh my gosh, he can't answer this.
My other favorite toy as a kid, other than of course Lego and then Transformers, is Star Wars. And
you've already got that.
When Lego Star Wars came out, that was just mind blowing. Like, how can this be possible? Right? And I imagine that's the feeling that a lot of people had when Optimus Prime came out. Is like, how can this be?
That was mine. I just because I think that like, at least up till this point, other toys are kind of a forbidden fruit for Lego. It's like, if you want this, you're gonna have to make it yourself.
Yeah.
But now everybody's like, Lego G.I. Joe when? I don't think that'll ever happen.
It was like a bold move by both the Lego Group and Hasbro as well, to
who approached who?
Actually, I have no idea.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm sure it was like a mutual love because we're both excited to work together. So.
Yeah. That's just so fascinating. I just can't stop talking about Optimus Prime. The build really blew me away the first time. It's just so smooth.
Yeah.
And
Joey did a really good job.
Yeah. How would you compare the builds between Optimus and Bumblebee? The build experience.
Mine's way better.
Okay, good.
I don't know. It's the less. It's obviously less bricks, right? So it's a smaller set. So it's maybe you can get through it faster. But it has just as many of the kind of joints and moving parts as Optimus Prime, and maybe even more because it's just every brick is considered because it all needs to squeeze into this frame as well. So, and
I'm seeing that even inside like the cabin of the car, if you will, there's some little details in there too.
Yeah, so actually in the front windscreen here's an air freshener that is a bee, and there's a kind of cheeky hidden detail.
So much fun. Could you show maybe the stickers on the back there?
Yeah, sure. Let me just put it on the table. You okay if I put it on the table? Yeah. So on the back he has this. We wanted to give him a little bit of attitude because Optimus Prime, he's very this stoic leader character. He's very kind of like by the book type character, right? Where Bumblebee is a bit cheekier. And so we wanted to give him like a little bit of attitude. So he has these bumper stickers. It says "I Heart Cybertron," and this one says "Roll Out" on it. And the O in "Roll Out" it has a little reference to the original toy. If you look on the back of the toy, there it has this little swirly pattern, which is actually replicated here.
That is so neat
in the decoration.
Would it be too much to ask you to transform it for us?
Not at all. So I'll just put the table here. So you start off by so once you build it, this is what you have. Yeah, the last piece is you put this on, and then you have this little cart. And so then we'll start off by removing this, and then we open this like doors. Oh, I've broken it. That's a good start. So open the doors here, and then you kind of crack the sides off. They're just held in by a clip. And you then, let's just fold these in because I always forget when I'm supposed to do it. So I'm going to fold them in now. And you rotate like this.
Oh, wow.
So, and then on the back here, we'll just fold these in. So you fold in this. Doo-doo. And then so this is the piece that makes you go like, how, right? Because that ratchet joint is hidden here to make it go really separate out, so you actually get really a lot of space between the front and back all of a sudden. And then you fold this out, and we can just fold that into place, so it kind of rests in between the legs there. Then you can split this apart in half, open, and open. Yeah. And these go down. This. And that folds in like this.
Wow.
You have to close those like that. Then he can stand. So these like kind of wrap around the legs here, but they're also a tiny bit posable, so you can give it like a little step
power
out if you
stance
want.
going
If you
there.
want to, yeah. I'll just keep them like that for now. Then these are kind of doors. They fold in. Then we put the arms in place. Yeah, they have this little rotate. And then he has hands, and on the other side as well. Yeah, and then you lift this up, and then you do the. You have to make the sound effect every time, and then that folds back there. Yeah, so then you have Bumblebee standing there, hopefully. He's got like a cheeky little smile.
Printed?
Yes, printed.
Wow.
So actually everything on the robot front here that you see is decorated. So face, the forehead, the logo, and also the legs are all decorated. And the sticker sheet, which I have on the table over there, is just the bumper stickers and the number plates.
Very
As
cool.
well as the plaque.
And we've got one piece left there.
Yeah, so I have this, the piece that I took off first. Actually, you can fold in the wing mirrors, and then you close it up, and it creates like a small jetpack for Bumblebee, which is kind of an optional detail if you want to. And you can
Amazing.
So you can see it goes on the back. Kind of looks a bit like bee wings.
And he's got a weapon too, right?
Yeah, he also has this blaster here.
Amazing.
And you notice that it's blue. We really wanted to make it so it doesn't look like he's holding Megatron, like for example. So he has a blue weapon, and Prime has a black weapon. So they wanted to differentiate them a little bit. So yes, so there you go.
Incredible.
He stands there.
Now, could you do Optimus for us? No. That is amazing. What do you think? Let me rephrase that. What are you most excited for people to experience in building this set?
I think like you talked about with Optimus Prime, it's that kind of wow factor, doing it the first time, and then working out how you want to display it, and also the fact that it fits so well with Optimus Prime. He's like in perfect scale, kind of
amazing.
Right?
Have you seen the box art for it yet?
I have not.
Okay.
We've literally just finished designing it, so that will.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. But our our idea is that the packaging will also match Optimus Prime in a way.
I didn't know if it maybe started to lean more toward Transformers branding now that this is sort of like a sub-theme of icons, I guess.
Sure.
Not every icons set gets a sequel. So.
No, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, we want to continue how we started. So this one will have very similar packaging, and who knows if we get the chance to do more in the future. That'll be
Fingers
cool.
crossed. When I built this the first time, I thought, man, how on earth could they do Megatron if they go for it someday? So I'll be hoping and pray until then. But hey, thank you so much for your time today. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.